Hi, everybody. Happy holidays and cheers and so on. I'm having an espresso martini. What are you having? Is it just a fruit
It's a
and
fruit juice
fruit and
with
Wheatley
Wheatley
American
American
vodka?
vodka.
Well, whatever you celebrate, happy that. My name is Russ. That is Lauren. And we have an interesting perspective video today. Instead of doing one of our regular, in the past years, we've done five great songs for this type of holiday, five great songs for that. But Lauren's going to talk about five great things about holiday music in general. And we both have completely unique perspectives to bring to the topic of holiday music. So without further ado, uh, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you think this, not holiday music, but just when you think about what makes it great?
What makes it great? I think, first and foremost, for so many people, um, holiday music, Christmas songs, what have you, they're some of the first songs that you learn all of the words to as a kid.
Mm.
And for me, that's stuck with me. Like, I know all the words to Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, all that stuff. And so then I hear them happen this time of year, and I think that's pretty cool. Like, you don't, like other songs that you learn in like preschool and kindergarten, you don't really get to flex your muscles on as an
Like,
adult.
yeah, there's never an appropriate time later in life to go around singing Farrah Shaka.
Farrah Jacques, or I'm a little teapot short.
Right.
When does that happen? It doesn't.
Well, and this will be one of the many things why, as we go through this, without going into too much detail, and you can probably figure it out just from a subtle hint, but I grew up in a home without Christmas. The religion that my parents were very devout in no way, shape, or form acknowledged or celebrated Christmas. And if you are a part of that religion, there's varying degrees of, for lack of a better term, enforcement. Like I knew people in our house that had, or I'm sorry, within the religion who had like no problem owning the standards, like the Elvis Christmas album or the Bing
Mm-hmm.
Crosby stuff. And it was kind of like to them, it was like, well, you can't, it's everywhere, you can't avoid it. So like,
Sure.
and then there was places like my house where my mom was like, she wasn't like military about it, but she was just like, yeah, there's like a million other songs by all these same artists, so like we just listen
We
to
can
that
listen.
instead of the.
So I'm not to go too far down this rabbit hole, but it's interesting to me because in my mind, holiday music falls into several buckets.
Mhm.
You got your religious holiday songs, you got your Santa holiday songs, then you got your by golly, it's chilly.
Right. Yeah, and no, in my mom. Well, first of all, my mom was very much like. My mom was a big lyric person. I talk about it on the channel all the time. So she would do that, like the wintry songs or things that didn't mention the holiday specifically.
Sure.
She was just fine with. But what I wanted to circle back to was it's like what you talk about with the lyrics and stuff. Like I know that Silver Bells says Silver Bells twice at the beginning, and then I got nothing after that. Like,
Oh, it's Christmas time in the city.
like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I know he had a very shiny nose. I don't know any of the rest of the lyrics of that song.
Wait, so you
Like,
don't know Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen?
I do now, but because of an Aaron Sorkin bit in a
Oh.
TV show.
So-
But anyway, so like when you say that, it's funny to me because like I don't know the lyrics to any of this stuff.
That's
You know?
yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So like the different perspectives on it are like really cool,
But I didn't think about it until you wrote the notes for this too. That it totally makes sense that people, for many reasons, why this would be some of the first music kids learn too, right?
Mhm.
Like because if you're in every other religion except for that one, you're probably performing in some sort of thing.
I sure did.
And the music is simplistic. I don't think I'm not.
You're not stepping
no,
on me.
I'm
No?
not going ahead on your points here,
Nope.
but like the music is simplistic, but in a good way. too.
Yeah.
Now this is going to kind of go into your second point, so I'm going to cut myself
Mm-hmm.
off there. But in no way do you ever, like me, when you hear like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you're not like like it's simple but so catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
again, I'll cut myself off because I know you have another point that
Goes in a
yeah,
one
parallels
yeah.
where I'm at.
Yeah. And so one thing about Christmas music is you have I mentioned the lyric buckets, right? But you also have your, for lack of a better term, I guess, vibe buckets
Mm-hmm.
with Christmas music. Like you've got your Holly Jolly Christmas, you got your rocking around the Christmas tree, but then you have that subset of Christmas music that's just like super chill and peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those are, for as silly as I am, like I love a good arrangement of like Silent Night or Oh Holy Night or The First Noel. Like I love like really, really peaceful Christmas music.
I'm not trying to be funny. The first Noel is the one that just starts out with Noel, no.
That's the chorus.
Okay, yeah, that's like that to me sounds like Christmas peace. If that
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like that's like if you were going to be walking along the street and people were wassailing,
They would be,
that's what I would think you would hear.
yeah, is what wassail. Wassail.
It's wassailing, right?
I think wassail is a Christmas punch.
No. Isn't there a poem where they say a wassailing
Here we
will
come,
go?
a wassailing, maybe.
Yeah.
I just thought that meant they were
I've
drinking
never
in
in
the
my life
streets.
said, like, I wasn't like, here I go martiniing. You know what I mean?
Well,
But
you're
anyways, but
you're
that
martiniing
that
now.
alone is the first thing I think of. Like when I think of like the sounds, to use another W word, the sounds of Christmas like wafting through the air.
A wafting.
That's what I think of.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, and you know, my final point, and I felt like we'd be able to riff on this one for a little bit, is the opportunities for different arrangements with Christmas songs is all over the place. It's just like an open book, right? You even take Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like. You've got it standard. I've heard people, you know, rock it out. I've heard like jazzy arrangements of
and
it.
then Rudolph is one that I instantly think of Run Run Rudolph.
Oh yeah,
Which is not the same song, but like a riff on it, and then that alone, people have done like 10 different ways. You have one of the most stereotypical things I've ever heard in my entire life, which I think there's two of them: the She and Him Christmas albums, where it's just like these are these Christmas songs, right? But then you get like the Motown Christmas record. The way Mariah reads a lot of stuff. I know we all know All I Want for Christmas. But everybody has their own different style of doing things. Like even if you just go from female vocalist to female vocalist, like if you look at Celine, Mariah, and Kelly, arguably the greatest three female singers of the past 30 years. All three of them sing the same Christmas standards, completely different.
Yep.
For as much as he gets compared, Bublé sings all of it different than Sinatra, than Connick Jr. Brian Setzer plays a lot of the rock and stuff, far different than G.E. Smith did. You know what I mean? I mean, the list goes on. You know,
So yeah.
There's even like there's some older stuff from the '80s stuff like the Very Merry Christmas or Very Special Christmas.
Stevie Nicks' Silent Night is
Stevie Nicks,
ridiculous.
Queen. Everybody has a different rendition, and then I mean, like, no one has ever turned in a more sudsy version of Blue Christmas than Elvis. you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, even though everyone knew that, and it wasn't me being like, I can't have Christmas. I mega loathe that because it sounds like Elvis doing an impression of Elvis.
Sure,
You
I
know
get
what mean?
that.
But again, like his version of Blue Christmas, 1,000% different than. There's even people who do there's a version of Bono out there doing Blue Christmas in the style of Elvis, and his version is still different from. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Christmas music, like you pick one Christmas song, you could make an hour and a half long playlist of just one song. You know, and I may have just given myself a challenge.
Right. Yeah. But we all year long we try very hard to share like just a different twist on all this type of stuff. And if you're like me, like if you grew up and you don't have a lot of this, like I grew an affinity for a lot of this music over time. I think a lot of it has to do with some of your points. Like it's the sound of peace. There's a million different versions. It's simplistic. But if you are a person who either, this sounds like I'm insulting people, but like if you claim to hate holiday music or whatever, and you've literally ever just been like, what do people see in this? You know, I think that you've made some good points, you know.
Thank you.
I think that most people would look at it and go like, okay, well, I can at least see why someone else loves that.
That's totally fair. And I almost made it through this entire video without mentioning Dominic the Donkey.
Oh, right. Almost.
So close.
If you have been with us for any amount of time, let alone all this year, we greatly appreciate it. I know we always say it in every video and you hear it in every single YouTube video, hit the notification bell, drop a like. Those things really do help. But honestly, more than anything, the thing that causes videos to get more views is comments. And I don't say that to be like, drop a comment below, like Christmas sucks. And so tell us your opinion. Like, I would just rather have a conversation with people out there about your different points of view. And, if you can't even imagine growing up in a house without Christmas music or whatever, drop a comment and ask me. For anything that's phrased in a non-insulting way, I'll be happy to answer. Or if you have questions for Lauren, who grew up with an abundance of Christmas,
So much Christmas.
in her house, by all means. But we do want to say cheers and happy whatever it is you celebrate or not. If you're like I am was when I was a kid and you can't celebrate anything, then happy winter. We do have 3 videos every single week. If you would please drop a like on your way out. And as we have said all year and will continue to say incessantly, because we believe in the positivity of the world, thank you so much for watching.
Cheers.